In a world where every moment counts and time flies without warning, imagine that a divine message slips into your life, calling you to radical awareness. It is not a simple video, but an awakening, an alert for those who have not yet opened their eyes. From now on, let yourself be taken on a spiritual journey that reveals the signs we ignore, the silent calls of Allah and the stark reminder of our destiny. Are you ready to discover what your soul has been waiting for too long? 1. The sign that changes everything. Start. A moment frozen in time. Imagine yourself in the middle of the night, awake while everyone else is asleep. A strange feeling tightens your chest. It's not fear, but a kind of presentiment. As if something bad was going to happen. You feel a weight in your soul, an inexplicable urgency, but you don't know what to do. Then, without warning, a memory crosses your mind. A word you heard one day. A warning you ignored. Something you should have realized much sooner. The silent call that breaks hearts, this moment that you are experiencing. It is not a coincidence. It's a call. But not an ordinary call. It's one of those rare signs that pops up in life, often when you least expect it. Some people perceive it in a dream. Others receive it through a sudden trial. And some feel it like an inexplicable weight that haunts them. But few take the time to understand what that really means. The signs we ignore. Until it's too late, human beings live with an illusion. That of having control over their time, over their decisions, over their future. But what we forget is that each passing moment brings us closer to the inevitable. There are those who understand this early, and there are those who wait until life hits them head-on. But the problem is that the moment we realize the truth is often the moment when it is too late to act. A final warning before it's too late. Imagine that you are in a desert, exhausted. You see a spring of water in front of you, but your heart hesitates. Maybe tomorrow, maybe later. But by waiting, the source disappears. What you are feeling right now is not just an emotion. It's not just a coincidence. This is an opportunity you may never see again. The calls of Allah we neglect. The whisper before the storm. Sometimes it's not screams that wake a soul, but a simple whisper. A detail that goes unnoticed. A situation that repeats itself over and over again until we finally understand that it is not a coincidence. Have you ever experienced a moment when everything seemed to be falling apart around you? Where every plan failed, every relationship fell apart, every door closed in your face? These moments are not the result of chance. They are reminders, warnings. Allah is calling you, but you may be too distracted to hear. The brutal awakening that some don't want to see. There are those who realize the message before it is too late. And then there are those who cling to their illusions, refusing to admit that life is sending them clear signals. How many times have you ignored a strange feeling deep in your heart? That instinct that told you to stop, to step back, to change. But instead of listening, you persisted. And then one day everything fell apart. A betrayal, a loss, an accident, a sudden fall. What you thought was punishment was actually mercy in disguise. A final warning to get you back on the right path. The signs we refuse to accept. A heavy silence in a relationship that you thought would be eternal. An opportunity that eludes you just when you thought you would succeed. A situation that repeats itself tirelessly, like an endless cycle. None of this is trivial. But we live in an illusion where we think that everything will happen according to our own plans. However, each failure, each loss, each pain carries a message much deeper than we believe. Before it's too late. There are signs that Allah sends again and again, but there will come a day when they will stop, where there will be no more warning, where the last chance will have passed. Don't be one of those who wait for a tragedy to open your eyes. Don't be one of those who realize the truth only when they find themselves alone, broken, with no way out. Allah is calling you now. The real question is, will you respond before it's too late? 3. The hour that will surprise us all. If it was now. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine that you're living your day like any other day. Maybe you're at work, maybe you're with your family, or just lying down with the phone in your hand. And suddenly, your heart stops. You feel a strange sensation, a cold invade your body. Everything becomes blurry. The noise around you disappears. And before you can even realize what's happening, it's all over. Doctors can try to resuscitate you. People around you can shout your name. But you're already gone. The falling veil. At this moment, you are no longer here. You are no longer in this world where everything seemed urgent, where every worry seemed immense, where every pleasure seemed essential. You are elsewhere, a place you can no longer escape. And then, an inevitable truth invades you. You still had so much to do, so many neglected prayers, so many sins left unrepented, so many opportunities to ask for forgiveness, to change, to return to Allah. But time is up, an invisible countdown. We all live with an illusion, that of believing that we still have time. We postpone until tomorrow the prayer that we were supposed to say today. We think we will have the opportunity to ask for forgiveness later. We tell ourselves that we will repent when we are older, when we have sorted out our affairs, when we are ready. But death knows neither calendar nor agenda. She doesn't wait for you to finish what you started. She doesn't give you the luxury of saying a little more. She comes and she takes those who thought they still had time. Look around you. How many people left this world thinking they still had years ahead of them? Young people in perfect health, gone overnight. People who had plans, dreams, ambitions, but whose souls were recalled before they could accomplish them. Families who didn't even have time to say a last word, a last goodbye. They had plans, but Allah had already written their time. Will you be ready when your time comes? The problem is not death itself, but what comes after. When the angel of death is before you, when the last breath leaves your body, what will you leave behind? A book full of negligence and errors, or a life that testifies to your return to Allah? Don't wait until this day to realize that you should have woken up earlier. This reminder may be the last before it is too late. The tombs that talk. A silence heavier than 1,000 words. A cold breeze slips between the stones, making the man shiver as he walks slowly through the cemetery. Every step he takes resonates on the earth, as if he were walking on the remains of extinct souls. He stops for a moment, his gaze lost on a row of graves lined up in front of him. Names engraved on stone, dates of birth and death. A few words left as memories. But where are they now? Where are these men and women who once breathed, spoke, dreamed? A sigh escapes his lips. Then, in the oppressive silence of the place, a thought arises in his mind. What if these tombs could talk? The regrets of departed souls. He closes his eyes for a moment and listens, not with his ears, but with his heart. And suddenly, he perceives what the souls would say to him if they could express themselves. I would have liked to pray one last time, a single prayer, sincere, with my heart turned towards Allah, but my limbs have turned to dust. My time is over. I would have liked to ask for forgiveness, a simple repentance, a sincere tear, a word addressed to my Lord. But now my lips are sealed. I wish I could be more grateful. Take advantage of every moment to thank Allah, rather than complaining and forgetting His blessings. But my breath was taken away from me. Each grave has its story. Some were rich, others poor. Some had power, others were insignificant in the eyes of the world. But in the dust there is no longer any difference. There is no going back anymore. You who are listening to this, you still have a chance. You're still breathing. Your heart is still beating. Your tongue can still pronounce the name of Allah, but for how long? Every day is a page of your book that is written, and at any time, the ink can stop flowing. Don't be like those who finally open their eyes when it's too late. 5. You will only be left with 3 things. When everything disappears, imagine for a moment. You close your eyes to sleep, but that night you never open them again. Your breathing stops. Your soul leaves this world, and everything you had suddenly becomes out of your reach. Your house, your money, your status, your projects, all of that stays behind. Your ambitions, your unfinished dreams, the efforts you made to build your life here on earth, everything becomes a simple memory for those who remain. But you are already somewhere else. At that point, nothing matters anymore. Nothing, except 3 things. The 3 truths that will accompany you. Your relationship with Allah, did you remember Him? Have you honored Him in your life? Or have you relegated Him to the background, calling on Him only in times of difficulty? It is He who will decide your fate. It is He who will welcome you or who will hold you responsible. Your prayers and your works. Every prayer you performed, every sincere prostration, every act done solely for the satisfaction of Allah, all this is recorded. But if you neglected them, then what will be left for you? The hearts you touched. Good deeds don't stop when you die. If you have inspired someone, if you have helped, given, sowed good around you, these actions will continue to bear fruit, even when you are underground. But if you have left nothing but regrets and wrongs behind you, who will pray for you? This message is not a coincidence. You're still breathing. You are still alive. What you just heard isn't just a video. This is not a simple reminder. This is an opportunity, a door that your Lord opens before you. But it won't stay open indefinitely. Don't close it. This message is not just a warning. It is a chance for renewal, an invitation to rebuild your relationship with the essential. Take the time to meditate on each sign, each call, and let these truths guide you towards a path of light and inner peace. If this script resonated with you, please feel free to share it with those who may also need it. Subscribe to receive more inspiring messages, and above all, start transforming your life today so that it is in harmony with what your heart truly desires. Don't let this opportunity slip away. Act now before it's too late.